What's happening, guys? How's it going? Bit of a different video today. I wanted to talk about a issue that has been going on quite a lot and quite a lot more frequently here in the UK in recent months and years that has sparked a bit of a debate. And I'm not quite sure why it sparked a debate, because for me this isn't a debate. For me this is a very one-way issue, and it's very much a problem in my personal opinion, and it's a problem that people are not taking too seriously, and it's one that's going to lead to a lot of carnage in my opinion if it's not checked. And that is this issue of militant veganism. Now, you guys are probably aware of certain, political commentators here in the UK, such as Piers Morgan. I'm not a fan of Piers Morgan. I think Piers Morgan is a total fraud, but I've got to deny, as much as I hate to say it, the guy is right about a lot of things. He does make a lot of good points, and when it comes to his early morning talk show that he does, Good Morning Britain, he's the only person on that show that is a voice of reason. He's the only person on that show, because the rest of them are all a bunch of liberal scumbags. He's the only one on there who ever speaks any sense. And one of the things that Piers Morgan said he was going to do last year was that he was going to expose and basically out this whole vegan movement and expose their hypocrisy and their violence and basically show these people for what they are. So I respect him for that. And no doubt you guys saw several months ago the interviews that he did with some of these militant vegans, with some of these activists where, they were trying to justify showing up to a supermarket, screaming in people's faces, standing in front of the meat aisle and harassing old ladies who are trying to do their shopping. And the type of stuff that Antifa does and gets away with, where Antifa will dress up in masks and, they'll jump in front of cars and threaten people, they'll threaten to rape people and shit, but then when the person runs them over to get away, they'll call the police and they dress up in masks and throw milkshakes at people, and then if someone flings a punch at them, again, they'll cry to their parents and phone the police. These type of militant activists, and that's what these vegans are like. That's very much what they're like. They claim to be against violence, yet they're always committing horrible acts of intimidation and bullying and violence. And I've just got to say, man, I am sickened by the way that the media covers it. Now, you guys might remember that, again, this was going back a while. This was the the debate that Piers Morgan had with these vegans. They had these vegans on, these two of them were fat women who I don't believe for 1 second they're even vegan, and the other one was some like emaciated, woman who was in her mid-20s, but she looked like an emaciated old hag, so I'm assuming she was vegan. And it was like they were trying to debate. Basically, Piers was trying to say, look, you guys are hypocrites. You're campaigning against people eating meat, calling them murderers because of the, slaughterhouse industry that they support and whatnot. But you guys have got no problem with the, wheat crops that are used to make bread, where, that they slaughter thousands of mice, field mice and rats and stuff like that, and, insects like ladybirds, the butterflies, all the life that is out in these fields that get chopped up by these combine harvesters and get grinded into little pieces, little tiny pieces, and their nests and whole habitats and environments get destroyed just to accommodate these wheat fields that are used to make bread, which vegans consume a lot of. Like, they had no issue with that. That to them is totally ethical and fine, but they're totally not ethical. It's totally not ethical to eat a ham sandwich. Eating a ham sandwich is the equivalent of committing mass genocide, but you know, actually committing mass genocide with your vegan agriculture. That's not a problem. No, that's totally fine. It's totally fine as long as you're not eating meat, according to these people. And it was, Piers Morgan was just exposing how stupid these people are, how brainwashed they are, how they're clearly, in a cult, how they clearly don't understand the whole concept of ethics. They're always trying to tell people that they're vegan for ethical reasons rather than health reasons. Well, it doesn't really hold up to scrutiny, does it? When you start to look into it a little bit more, You might hear at first, oh, we don't eat animals, we're ethical, but then you start to look into the agriculture and the industries that they do support, and you start to realize that, okay, this isn't really any better, is it? In fact, it's probably worse. But they don't like that, do they? I mean, they would come back with some of the most ridiculous responses. Like, they will say things like, oh, well, we're not deliberately intending to kill these animals so that we can eat them. We're just killing them for the sake of it. You know, as if that's somehow any better. I mean, surely killing an animal for survival, surely killing an animal to eat it, so that you can sustain yourself and sustain your family. That's surely a lot more ethical to me and has a lot more of a justifiable reason for doing it than simply, oh, we didn't know they were there, so we don't care that the combine harvester chopped them up into tiny pieces. We don't care about that. So it's out of sight, out of mind, basically. It's like if you drop your chips on the floor and you just kick it under the couch. No one sees it, so who cares? It's that type of mindset from these militant vegans, man. And I just think that the reason I'm so disgusted with the media is because the media needs to treat this issue for what it really is. What it really is it's borderline terrorism. I'm not even kidding, guys. It's borderline terrorism. If you go into a restaurant, right, when people are trying to have their dinner, while the people who own that restaurant are trying to run a business, right, and you go there and start screaming in people's faces, threatening people, calling them murderers, calling them like fucking Hitler and all that shit. If you're gonna do that, that is borderline terrorism because you're enticing violence against these people. Okay, if you're calling somebody a murderer, you're essentially saying that person deserves to go to jail or deserves to be attacked. That's basically what you're saying. And if you're gonna show up to a business like you're gonna protest outside a butcher's, again, that's a person's livelihood. That person is trying to feed their kids and feed their families and trying to feed their community with good quality meat, good quality food, trying to feed the people around them. And instead of putting this activism and this all this energy that you could be putting into some real issue, some real world issue, you decide to just virtue signal and basically commit borderline domestic terrorism against people who are just trying to live their lives. And again, it's a very authoritarian way of thinking. That's the thing that really gets me about veganism is these people are very, very bigoted. It's like if you don't live the exact way that they live, if you don't eat the exact same things that they eat, you're a murderer. You're a bad person. You're scum of the earth, and you should go to jail. That's how these guys think. That's the society that these people wish we lived in. They wish that eating meat was a punishable offence. And you know what? Whenever I see these vegans, like this is the effect I assume they hope to have on people. They hope that by acting the way they do, they're going to somehow convince me and convince other people to eat a plant-based diet and stop eating meat. Do you know what effect that has on me? Now, I've always been a pretty, I've always had a pretty balanced diet. I'm the type of guy, I'll eat anything. I'll eat meat, I'll eat veggies, I'll eat whatever I want, basically. Whatever I feel like eating, I'll eat. Now, since I've been looking into this veganism idea and since I've been seeing these vegan cringe videos and I've been hearing more and more about vegan violence and I've been seeing flipping vegan propaganda posters put up all over the place, which by the way, to piss off a few of you vegans in Glasgow, if you guys are still around, I destroyed a bunch of your posters in the West End, so yeah. Come and get me. Um, yeah, I destroyed a bunch of vegan posters in the West End because I'm sick of seeing them. And all it does is it makes me want to eat more meat. You guys are actually making me fat by making me want to eat more and more meat with your quote unquote activism and your borderline domestic terrorism of I mean I genuinely wish, see, when I go into a supermarket now, I'm like I almost hope it happens. Like I genuinely hope some vegans will show up and start screaming at me so I can just I can just start chomping on a bacon joint in front of them or something. Like that's the effect you have on people. Do you not understand? Do you not understand when you tell people what to eat, when you tell people what not to eat, that's only going to make them rebel. That's only going to make them do the opposite. So vegan activism and this militant vegan movement is getting you guys nowhere. it's literally getting you guys nowhere. I eat more meat now than I ever have, and I even eat raw meat. Okay, I've started eating raw liver and raw steak and things like that. Like I'm eating more meat now than I ever have in the past because of you guys. All right, I'm becoming as carnivore and as carnivorous as possible. I rarely eat veggies anymore. I really don't. I mean, I eat fish. I eat pork. I eat meat. I eat lamb. I eat all types of meat, man. And I'm thinking of eating more. I mean, I'm thinking of going hunting, going fishing, just getting more and more meat, and just despite these people. I'm not even kidding. I literally want to eat more meat just despite these people. And that's the effect they have on us. And it's like Piers Morgan was saying, man. Like, and again, I'm no fan of Piers Morgan. I think Piers Morgan's a complete fool. I've never liked the guy, but he's totally right in this issue. Okay, you guys screaming at people in a restaurant and standing outside the butcher saying it's not food, it's violence, and going into the supermarket and blocking the meat aisle and screaming at old ladies going, you unethical so and so, you, how dare you eat meat. That makes people want to eat more meat. So I think you guys really need to rethink this vegan activism. And as for the media, we need to start fighting back against this. Please, mainstream media here in the UK, stop glamorizing veganism. Stop telling us how healthy it is and how we should all go on a plant-based diet to quote-unquote save the planet. Stop telling us that these vegan activists are just trying to, protest a message and, their heart's really in the right place. No, it's not. These people are not nice people. Okay, they are very authoritarian, very bigoted individuals trying to tell the rest of us how to live our lives. They're Jamie Oliver on steroids. That's what these people are, man. So that's all I've got to say, man. This video has gone on way too long. Please do not allow these militant vegans to have power over us, okay? Stop protecting these people. If these people get attacked, it's their own fault because what they do is borderline terrorism. Okay, so let me know what you guys think anyway. Thanks for watching and God bless.